welcome to the next episode of the Believer podcast. I'm here with Gloria today. I'm just going to ask you to kind of introduce yourself, kind of tell us what your journey is from when you were young till now, and kind of what your story is.
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for having me
Of course.
because I remember we don't really know each other that well, right? And it was just so random how we met. But I saw you on Instagram and I was like, okay, this guy is like building a brand and doing something cool, so why not? Why not? I really appreciate it as well. So my name is Gloria. I'm 23 years old. I live in Switzerland, like I was born and raised here. And I think as everybody else, I went to school, and I my story isn't that special or like so it was pretty normal. So I grew up in a family. I went to school, I went to university, I studied psychology
Okay.
because I always loved how people's minds work. So that was really my thing. And then after like 1 year in university, I noticed that I'm not gonna lie, I was getting kind of depressed, because it was like always the same thing. So you wake up at 8, 8 a.m., you go to uni, then you study some more, you go to sleep at the end of the day just to do it all over again. And I was like, okay, I need to get out of here. Like, this is not gonna work long term. And well, then I tried a couple of things. So I then went to the army for 2 years because in here in my country it's mandatory. So for the men, not for women, but I went anyways because why not? And yes, and then after that, I didn't know what to do exactly, but I just knew I'm not going to return to the life I had. That was the only thing that I knew. And then from there, so I started doing social media and started trying to just, live true to myself, basically. Just follow the feelings, all those gut feelings that you have that these are true for you,
Hmm.
but you kind of keep lying to yourself because you say like, no, you can't do that or this and this and this and this. And so ever since, social media blew up and things started to click, and I'm still right now I'm in the middle of it, like this is just the beginning. I'm so excited.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. And then, so I guess I have a couple questions from that. What is living in Switzerland like? Because I've never been out of the United States other than to Cancun for basketball. So,
I would say it's very peaceful because it's a small country. I
hmm.
think it has like 8 million people in it only. And it's just super chill, everybody's minding their own business. Nobody really cares. I'd say the only, not downside, but the only thing is it's super expensive. I think Switzerland is one of the most expensive countries on planet Earth.
Okay.
So yeah, that's like that's it. Everything
Is
has its price.
is there any like unique like animals or things, insects or things like that? Because I know, what's it called? Australia has them big spiders, and I'm not a big spider person. So, is there anything in Switzerland that's like out of the ordinary? Maybe to me, but not to you.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think so. Like the animals are pretty ordinary. I don't think you can see them right now, but I even have like horses right in front of my balcony.
Oh, that's nice.
So no, but it's like it's nothing special.
Okay. And then, so what was the army like for you?
It was probably the best experience I ever had until now in my whole life, and the best decision that I could ever possibly make because I always kind of wanted to go, like since I was little, I was like, oh, that's so cool, and I want to try this and that and go to the army maybe. But then I always had these excuses, and I never had the reason really. Never really had a reason to go,
Mm-hmm.
so I always put it off. Um, and then I think what clicked for me is that I just wasn't happy in university. Like I was like getting super depressed, honestly. And then I wanted to become a fighter pilot.
Ooh.
So, so this was like a dream of mine, also since I was very little. And so I was like, okay, I have the reason to go and I have like the timing to go because it's not going to get better. And so I'm just going to enroll. And then actually it was planned that I would stay only like 3 months to finish the basic courses, basically. I don't know how to call it. But then the people that I worked with were so cool and everything just like matched. So I literally stayed for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just it was just amazing, because I got to lead people as well. I got to experience leadership for the first time and like, yeah, I know, have these different perspectives on just how teams work, how people work and all of that. So I think, oh, that's what I wanted to say. I think the one thing that I realized is that in uni, I studied psychology and I thought like now I know how the world works. And then I got to the real world and it was nothing like in the books. And I was like, shit, I have to study all over again because that doesn't help me at all.
No, facts. Facts. There is definitely a shock with what you learn in school versus what the actual real world is actually going through and things like that. What would you say your toughest and easiest moments in the army were?
Oh, I think I remember the toughest one for sure. I do. Because I think most people would say like selection things or like exercises, because that's like physically very demanding.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally that comes to mind. But for me, it was something completely different because when I think it was um in the second year, and I was leading a team of soldiers. There were like 50 people in my section basically. And I was leading them, and it was week 6
Mm-hmm.
of the training for them. And I kind of had the role of, like planning all the things, planning their whole day and what they're gonna learn, how they're gonna learn it. And then week 6, we had somebody that took his own life. And he was like 20 or 19 years old. And he took his weapon home because you're allowed to do that, but I have to always like give the permission, because if they
Mm-hmm.
want to go practice at home and shooting. And he took it home and he took his own life with the weapon because he was just depressed, or I don't know, like he didn't want to live anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sunday evening came by. Everybody's in the camp again. This guy isn't, obviously, anymore. I get the message, and then I'm there Monday morning in front of 50 soldiers. They're all between 18 and 20 years old. And I have to tell them that their good friend just killed himself
Mm.
and that he's not coming back. And that we somehow still have to keep going with the courses and all of the program. And you can you can imagine how hard that was, not physically, but like mentally,
Yeah, for sure.
because that was like after they got the message, they were like so miserable for 2 to 3 weeks. You couldn't do shit with them. Like they were not able to focus on anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was also the biggest lesson because then I did a lot of sports with them, like I played a lot of football with them and stuff, and just cool things. Like I didn't focus on the program or the plan anymore. Um yeah, and just looked after them, and then after like 3 weeks it was good again, and we were able to continue. But I learned a lot from from that situation. It was probably the toughest one.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And easiest, I don't know. Um,
Hey, it's easiest or most fun?
most fun. Most fun, I think all the exercises that we did, um, in like real case scenarios almost, and all the exercises at night. Because then I was wearing these, like the night vision
Mm-hmm.
stuff thingies, and that was so cool. And it was like as in the movies, like I was feeling like I'm in a movie, and it was like just so bam, 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 and shooting there and this and that. It was just pure action. It was so
So,
cool.
is it just like the movies, or is it different when you're doing it for real?
Well, it's like it is kind of like in the movies. I also got to fly helicopters and stuff, so it is really cool. But then again, the movies only show the cool stuff. So all
It's
these
true.
behind the scenes or like these in between moments where I don't know, somebody trips and you have to like pause all of it, or I don't know, somebody passes out because he hasn't eaten enough, or
Mm-hmm.
all the annoying stuff where like that's not shown in the movies, obviously. So, but I would say the cool stuff, yes, it is like in the movies. It
Okay. I don't know.
is.
I know you said you wanted to be a fighter pilot and you flew helicopters. I usually I like the airplane movies and things like that, like Top Gun and stuff. I just could never do it just because I am afraid of heights, so that would not be fun for me.
No. Oh, I love Top Gun. It's a real that movie really inspired me as well.
Oh yeah.
But then if you're afraid of heights, you should that's the reason why you should like go for it, like try more things
I
in
tried a
heights.
ropes course one time and I was terrified.
You have to just you have to just practice until you're not.
That's true. That's true. And then so I know I've seen some of your social media stuff and kind of some of your stories that you posted and things like that. What made you want to start doing that, and how's your process been from starting till now?
Well, actually, I've started posting on Instagram, right, on social media in January. So
Okay.
it's not been that long actually. But when I say that, people don't believe me because I've got like 160K followers. So they say like that's not possible. That's all that is. Um, but it is. And for me it started because I was in a phase where I was spending a lot of time alone. A lot. When I say a lot, like all the time. For about 3 months, I only had like one room. I was super isolated because of family situations and stuff. And so most people would call it like a down phase in life, you know. But for me, it gave me so much clarity and so much connection to myself because I didn't have these other external factors that like clouded my vision. So then one day in January, I think it was like I said, okay, I can't possibly lose anymore. Like literally, that was how I thought, because like in on this physical reality, like there's nothing more that I can possibly lose.
Hmm.
So why not just trust it all? And that was literally how I was thinking. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to take all that I know about how the world works or manifestation, and all these wee-woo stuff that you see on the internet. But because I know so much, but I never lived any of it. So I said, like, I can't lose more. I'm just gonna trust.
Mm-hmm.
What can go wrong, right? And then after that, I think it was like 2 days after that, I was laying in bed and I was like falling asleep, and then some ideas just hit me, and it was like, you're gonna post for the rest of the year one video a day on Instagram. Out of nowhere, it just hit me, and I was like, okay, why not? Why not? Because I believe thoughts are not random, and if you get these ideas or these impulsive ideas, especially, they don't come for no reason to you.
Facts.
And I was like, yeah, okay, well, why not? Why not just follow the impulses? And that's literally that was day one on my social media, and ever since then, that was in January, I've just been posting, and I've been posting for myself. So it's like I'm just trying to better myself. Um, and I think that's why it blew up so quickly because people resonate with it so
Mm-hmm.
well. Yeah. Did that answer the question? I'm not
No,
sure.
it did. It did. So like, so what would you kind of tell other people that are, wanting to do the same thing or along the same journey? What would you tell them about the journey and what they should kind of do or expect or things like that?
Well, I'd say everybody has a different journey. It's not possible. It's physically and logically not possible for two people to be on the exact same journey. So you have your own life and your own journey. So first of all, don't compare anything to anyone because it's yours and yours only. And then second of all, the key is just to live in a moment because I feel like the future and the past, they're all just in your head. They're thoughts, but they're still appearing now. So even the past and the future are just thoughts appearing now. So all you will ever have is now. So what I'd say is just have fun in the moment, because if you make every moment of your life fun, eventually that will make a fun life.
Facts.
That's the only way. That's literally the only way.
That
That's what I do.
that is facts. That is facts. So I guess,
That's it.
and then so also I saw that you have something called Leap with Glow. What does that kind of mean to you, and what is that?
Well, it started off as an experiment. I wanted to do an experiment because I've got so many people asking me, can you teach social media? Can you teach me how to go viral and all these things? And I was like, no, I cannot. And I was refusing all of it. I was declining every inquiry because I felt like people were getting the focus wrong. So people asking me how to go viral when my goal never was to go viral, and that was never my focus because that's not what it should be, right? It's like the focus should always be on you. And so I always declined. But then I was like, yeah, okay, but how can you know if this is not teachable if you never tried it? So I've never actually tried it. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna try it. And that was the experiment, like with one person. Um, how it started off, just like me seeing if I can actually teach some of my ways, like some of my perspectives and how I live and what I do. And it never really took off. I don't know why. I think the person that I worked with on this experiment wasn't really committed. So
Mm-hmm.
it really didn't work. But that's okay. And I learned a lot from it. And what I do now is just like I launched a community on school, and it's called Leap with Glow too. And there, what I do is literally just I live. I just live and I let people see behind the scenes of my way and my journey. Because I feel like when you look at social media, I think you will resonate with that too. Because when you look on Instagram, for example, you see so many masks. You never see the full picture. You
That's very true.
never, you never see, even for me, like you never see the real deal of a person. Never. And so many people are putting on a mask. And so what I'm trying to do is just like, first of all, build a community where people can come together and share energies, and like push each other
Hmm.
to really follow their own path. And then also like just be super, super unfiltered about everything that I do in my life because I feel like nobody's doing it really. And like nobody's really sharing these moments where sometimes things go wrong or you
Hmm.
don't feel well or whatever. And so yeah, that's just what it is.
No, that's great. That's kind of somewhat in a way kind of what I'm trying to do with my brand. Just kind of build a safe space for, people to come tell their stories of whatever they're going through, whether it's good or bad, and have people be able to come see that and be like, "Oh, I'm going through the same thing. Maybe I can try what they did or realize that it can be okay." That's kind of somewhat of the same kind of thing in a way, I would say.
I think that's why I had such a good impression of your page because it's kind of like I felt that, like
Hmm.
it resonated with me too. It was cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no. At one point in time, I tried to do like daily motivation with Mar, and I was like, I saw yours, and I was like, this seems like something that she seems like a cool person, something that she's doing that's helping other people. I was like, I would love to talk to her and see what she's doing and what her mindset is. But
Ah, I'm so happy.
what's a moment in your life that you're most proud of?
A moment in your life that I'm most proud of. I'd say ever since I got more connected with myself, it's every moment, every day. It's literally every day because I don't know, like why not? Right? Why not? Because that's something I realized and I think so many people also like in my environment and with my friends when I talk to them, they think that you have to do something or be something to be allowed to be proud of yourself. When in fact, like you don't have to do anything and you don't have to be any other thing than yourself to be proud of yourself. Like, why the fuck not? Am I allowed to swear on this? I'm
Say
so
what you
sorry.
want. Say what you want. It's hey, it's open for whatever.
Because I was like, why the fuck would you not be proud of yourself in every moment of your life? There's simply no reason not to, right?
Facts.
If you're really true to yourself and if you really are yourself.
That's
So yeah.
that is facts. And then so what is also something that how should I word this? What is something that you would go back and tell your younger self?
Like, what age are we talking? Because it depends.
Let's just say middle school ish going to high school. Let's just go back. I said let's go back to that area.
I I would say that you are right where you need to be. It's everything is perfect as it's happening right now. And you don't need to change anything because I used to be in a lot of resistance to the way things used to be, or like to the way that I am living my life. But then I realized everything that I've gone through has somehow led me up to the point where I'm now. And I am so proud of who I am and how I carry myself and how I live. So I'm also like so proud of every moment that I've gone through. So there's really no point in like having this resistance against situations, every situation in life, basically. So yeah, I think I would tell myself that. Yeah.
That's great. And then, what is one of the most challenging moments of your life, and how did you get through it?
There's been a lot.
Whatever you're open to
Um,
sharing.
Most challenging. I think. Oh, wait, are you, this gonna go deep then? Like super, this going to be super, super deep.
Whatever, hey, whatever you want to say, whatever that is.
Well, I think most challenging was when I grew up in a normal household, like with mom and dad, but my mom got sick when I was 10 or 11, and then she had cancer, so she died when I was 11, right?
Mm.
And so the period from when I was 11 to I think 17, I think those were 6 years. And I think those were the most challenging ones because I I lost complete sense of myself. I lost connection to myself. Everything that I'm like slowly starting to feel again, I wasn't feeling at all. So I was super duper disconnected from the whole world. And I think the challenge was just to survive, basically, because like every day was just like this fight of survival and no real perspective on on anything, basically. It was just like living day to day and like not seeing a light at the end of the tunnel and like constantly questioning like what am I even doing that for? Like
Mm-hmm.
what am I even doing here? Like what the fuck? And I just think like maybe some of the people listening to this podcast or like this episode will resonate with that as well, or will find themselves in a similar position or situation. So I think what I can say for people going through similar things is just to persist, basically, because every situation is trying to teach you something, but sometimes like that's just the circle of life, the cycle of life. And sometimes you just gotta persist, and then things will evolve and change again, and nothing will stay the same. Um, yeah, just go through it. That's it.
Facts. I was to say I didn't go through that, but in college I had some injuries and blah blah blah. It affected my basketball career, and it's
Yeah,
I always live that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you just got to get through the tough stuff. And
that's
then
it.
facts. So and then what does believer mean to you?
Believer, like what is a believer?
Yeah, or like what does that word mean to you?
Okay, I had to rearrange my
You good.
thoughts.
You good.
So I'll give you two answers because if you had asked me this I think like 6 months before, it would be a completely different answer.
Mm-hmm.
Believer for me, what it used to mean is having a vision, right, for your life, and also like living in a way that is true to yourself, and like someone who believes is someone who tries, right? And someone who kind of feels that there is more to this life. And I think believing is some of the most powerful things on this planet, and for your life basically, because based on your beliefs will, like, how can I say it? Okay, so what you believe, you follow, your actions will follow your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So unless your beliefs are matching with the vision you have, you won't get there, because here is where it all starts.
Facts.
And so that would be that would be my answer like 6 months from now. But if you ask me today, I would like to kind of use another word for it, because the word believe for me now is saying like I believe in something.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, when I say I believe in God, the word belief still kind of subconsciously indicates that it is something not really reachable, something that's, you can't really see it, it's not really here yet, it's like something, like somewhere, but not really,
Mm-hmm.
you can't really reach it. And so what I like to say is, I don't believe in God, I know God. Because then when you shift that from believing to knowing, it is here and it's already here. And that's like a whole different energy.
Facts.
This is like, there is no room for anything else other than this, and this will happen. So, and I think that knowing something is the only way for it to happen. Because when you believe in something, it can happen,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not guaranteed. Not 100%, maybe 99.999%. But there's still this 0.0001% room for it to not happen. But if you leave it no room, there's no other possibility than to happen. So
That's true. That's honestly the first time I've heard anyone ever say that. So that's I'm definitely gonna have to
good.
keep that and think about that one. That was good. And then so usually,
That's it.
when people on the podcast before, they leave a question for whoever's next. So the person before you left, if you weren't getting paid for what you were doing, would you still want to do it?
Well, I'm not getting paid for it now, so I'm still doing it. So yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's also, that's kind of my way of life, because I feel like when you really do what you love, money will flow either way eventually. It will. It's inevitable. But when you do things just to get paid, you will, you can't do that for the rest of your life, and that's not your purpose. So, yeah, I think a lot of people have it like mixed up, like
Hmm.
it's actually the other way around. So, yes, absolutely.
And
100%.
and then what is something you would want to leave for the next person? Like what question would you want to leave?
Um, I wait, I need to think, because I'm really tempted. to say something like what comes first, cereal or milk, but that's like super dumb, so I'm not gonna go with that. Um,
That's actually a good question, though. I actually would like first before you say before
should
you
I?
say what does come before cereal or milk? I would love to know your answer because I have a friend that said the opposite of what I do, and I think he's crazy. So
I don't know. Well, what I do is I pour the cereal first and then the milk. But then again, everybody says like that's the right way to do it. But
hmm
like then I ask myself, who says that? Like who says you have to put like it makes no sense because both ways are okay and both ways lead to the same thing. So
that's true.
I don't know what they're that's like do you that's the same as like do you pour the water first on your toothbrush or does the other like the
Toothpaste.
toothpaste come first or whatever like all these kind of things I was like what the fuck so I don't know I think what do you put first
I say cereal before milk, and one of my friends said milk before cereal, and I thought he was
yeah
crazy.
he's a psycho no just kidding I don't know yeah I think
I mean, it is like kind of up to the person and what they feel comfortable with. It's just
yes
to me, it would be crazy to me to put the milk in before I put my cereal in. That's just my opinion. But hey, the world could think differently. But
but then again, like, where does that opinion come from? Because I feel like that opinion, for example, when you take that example, that's just what majority of people have told you throughout your life, right?
that's true.
Like that's not really and you can ask that with actually every internal belief that you have actually like is it really mine or is it like and oh yeah, we don't go there now because that's like a whole lot of another story. But yeah, it's interesting to think about actually.
Facts, facts. But whatever question you want to leave, if it's that or if
I
it's
have
something
it.
else. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I have it now. I have it now. Um, I want to ask the question, what's one thing that you have been lying to yourself about for most of your life, but you've realized it now that you have and you've stopped it?
That's a good one. That's a good question. Well, I'm also gonna have you answer that question.
No. Oh, okay. So there's a lot of things actually. Um, I think the most impactful thing that I have been lying to myself about is that the person I am today is fixed and that I can't change it, that I cannot change it, and that I cannot simply become whoever and whatever I want in literally every new second of my life. And I used to really lie to myself about that because that was just a coping mechanism or an excuse for me to not really dissect my personality and see that I have to put into work. So it's really just an excuse to not put into work and not go all in on it. But I think yeah, that will be it.
Okay. Well, see, that's all the questions and everything I had for you and everything I want to talk about. But now I just want to open up, talk about whatever you want. You can ask anything, whatever you want to do.
I wanted to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
what's your vision
Vision for my life, vision for the brand, vision for.
for your life and for your brand?
I'd say the vision for my life now through kind of what's happened before, is to become the best basketball head coach I can be, the best teacher I can be, and the best person I can be, and also in the future, in like 2 3 years, the best husband I can be. Um, I think that's kind
I
of,
saw you're engaged, right?
yeah.
Ah, congrats. So
I
cool.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think that's kind of the vision for my life now. I had to change it from, wanting to go play professionally and overseas and things like that because of my back, to now coaching the youth and becoming a teacher. So now I just want to be the best I can be at all of that and help guiding the youth and kids and kind of helping them get to their dreams. And whether it's in basketball when I coach you or whether it's in whatever you want to do. Just be a source of kind of knowledge or just someone to talk to kind of help guide kids and just people along their life and try to be the best versions of themselves. I think that's kind of the vision for my life. For the brand, it's just to keep building, be able to help as many people as I possibly can with it. Allow people to tell their stories, have people on podcasts and be able to talk about whatever they want to talk about, get whatever they need to get off of their chest, so people can live in peace instead of holding on to that one thing or two things that are bringing them down or hurting them in the inside and not telling nobody, but like just having this space to for people to be able to just be like, you know what, I've been through some shit. I'm going to tell this space, and hopefully I can help one person. That's literally the whole goal of this. Is if I've been able to help at least one person from when I started this last August to now, it's been successful. That's kind of the whole goal, is to just help people, and that's kind of what touched my heart to start it. Is because I've been through some stuff where I need to go get therapy, and but who knows, if I would have had this safe space to kind of share something or read someone else's story or listen to someone else's story, maybe it would have helped, maybe it wouldn't, but at least now people have the chance to do that.
Is your brand, what is your brand exactly now? Is it only clothing and podcasts, or what is it?
So clothing's kind of just to have stuff. That's not really the main focus for me.
Yeah.
It's more so to keep building it to where people send their stories in or send a quote that they like or come on a podcast and talk about their life or whatever they want to talk about. And then also in the future to build have like a physical space where I'll have like mental health coaches and people that can come talk to each other. So if you're having a bad day, you can come in, you come talk to a certain person, whether it's me or someone else I have there, to kind of just talk. It's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be therapy, but like if you just need someone to come listen or you need someone to talk with you or whatever it is, have that kind of actual physical space with people that can actually help you. And have a gym in there, be able to do some basketball training and personal training and things like that, just so people can get the overall like mental health help that they might need, or have different options to be able to help each other. Kind of my vision. So the clothes, it's cool to have some clothes. I mean, a lot of people have clothes and all blah blah blah, but I mean that's not my main focus. My main focus is really to help people. Clothes, I mean, if that becomes something, it becomes something. But I really want to get to being able to really truly help people, regardless of if it just ends up staying on social media or I do get the physical space and having people to come and talk to people and things like that. But that's kind of the vision I have for me and my brand.
That is so cool. I can see like the clothes because I looked a little bit through your page, right? And I
Hmm.
think your clothes look really, really cool.
I appreciate
Um,
that.
but I can see that like after some time, I think people will start to associate like maybe your logo or like your style with the environment and the space you're building. And
Hmm.
that is something huge to do. That's like really, really good, actually. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. So just
Yeah.
trying to keep it consistent, keep building things. But again, if one person has been helped, I've done my job that I set out to do.
Yes, literally same. Literally, that's how I think about social media too, or like about every video that I post. It's like
Mhm.
if this, it doesn't matter who sees it, it doesn't matter how many views it gets, if it gets even like 2 views, I don't care. If one of the 2 views is helped, like if
Mhm.
even one person, if it even helps one single person, I've done my job. That's
Yep.
good,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
But no, yeah. That's. I mean, if there's ever a way where if you need help with anything, since it's somewhat along the same kind of path, I'm always here to help. Always here to bounce ideas off of or whatever it is. You always have a resource in me now with whatever help you need.
When you were talking about your brand and your vision, I got a feeling, I can't really describe it,
Mm-hmm.
but I get a feeling that someone, I think our paths will cross when we, because as you said, like we're doing something similar,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this will be helpful in the future. Yeah, I get a feeling.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
facts, facts. If you want any clothes or anything, just let me know. Just let me know.
That's cool. I'll
Yeah,
check it out some more.
that. But yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to ask? Anything
I think we're good. I
that?
think we're
Well,
good for now.
that I
Yeah.
appreciate you joining, taking the time out of your day to come and talk with me and kind of share your story. And I know because time difference had to make it work, but I appreciate that.
I appreciate you taking the time as well, and also like thank you for what you do, because I think I can tell by the way you speak, like this comes from your heart, you
Mhm.
know? And so I think you're doing a you're making this big. I can see it.
I appreciate that. You too, now though.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, I appreciate
Okay.
that and hope you have a great rest of your day.
Wish you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.